Hello everyone, welcome to the Gothtober Arts and Crafts live show. We're here to just have a chill time, chatting and doing some crafty things, and we have some guests along with us. If they want to introduce themselves, you probably already know them, but...
Do you want to go first?
Go for it.
I am Ashley from Follow Through Fiction. Shall I say what I'm doing? Just what I'm reading, and I'm like, today I'm going to be doing this thing. Very randomly. I was going to embroider, but when I went into the drawer of all my crafty things, I remembered, or rather I saw, that I had bought a pack of just like these things to make decorations out of, because they've got a hole there and you can like put twine through. So I'm going to be painting pumpkins and stuff on random bits of wood.
I love that. Is it real wood or is it?
Yeah.
That's cute. I love that. Okay, well, I'm Hannah from Ladder M, and I'm going to be creating some kind of like dark academia collage of all of the stuff. I have so much stuff. Like, I was literally showing Olivia, I've got so much, like,
wow,
that I've just like, because like I used to do it all the time because I can't draw for shit, so I like to cut and stick instead, like a child. If, however, I get bored of that, I also have a colouring book. So that's my arts and crafts. I'm excited.
Great. Tish, we're just introducing ourselves and what we're doing today.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Tish. I was originally going to make a creepy haunted house, but they didn't have any more because I guess they all sold out because of TikTok. So I'm going to make a like palm tree kind of painting. So I'm going to try to trace my hand and then go in and write all the little things that the lines mean.
That's cool.
So hopefully that turns out okay.
That sounds good. And I'm Olivia Savannah. I was going to do baking, but I've been moving and it's been chaos, so I'm drawing instead. I'm going to draw Yomo, who's this character in Tokyo Ghoul. It's an anime I love. They can eat people, but he's like vegetarian or trying to be vegetarian. So that's what I'll be doing.
I love that, trying to be vegetarian. That's cute.
And yeah, go ahead and tell us in the chat what you're making for this arts and crafts session. I should probably also explain how you can get points for this live show for your teams. So if you want to get points, just post on Twitter or Instagram with your hashtag for Hellhounds, Heavenly Halos, and a photo of what you've been making or doing this live show, and you'll get points for your team.
It's that easy.
Very simple.
Just make things.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be good. It just has to be made. You can make your bed and it would still count.
I mean, I haven't drawn for like a year and a half, so who knows how this is going to turn out.
I love the suspense. It's also going to be really interesting because we're all going to be like, I'm concentrating on this thing right here. So it looks like I'm just watching Ashley. Just like,
just like peeking down. So no, I'm gonna see if I've got enough of these wood things to put like Halloween so I can make an actual banner out of it.
I love that. See, I've got loads of black paper because where I used it for the merch boxes to like film stuff, I've got like 10 meters of black paper just like in a roll, like it's just here. And I was really tempted to just make goth bunting. And then I was like, the thing is, it's such a like habitual thing where I'll just keep making it.
Yeah.
Well, what do I do with that after I've made it? Like, this is just in my room now. So I was like, at least a collage I can put in a frame and I can put somewhere. If I hate it, I can put it in. It's fine.
Well, I can see people are making things. Going to look on paint by numbers painting. I remember loving doing those because I'm rubbish at painting by myself. So it was just nice to feel like I could create something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my childhood. Just painting by numbers.
Twilight collage. Always support Twilight here. That's perfect.
I love a Twilight collage. That's cool. See, I bought, before all the stuff with JK kind of like kicked off, I bought the artwork, like hardback book. And since it all kicked off, I was like, I really want to turn this really beautiful artwork into like a collage that I can have like on my wall, so I can enjoy the artwork and know that I made that, and it's stuff that has nothing to do with her. But I also can't quite bring myself to tear up that book. It's just so pretty.
Yeah.
That can be difficult. You've also got cross-stitching. I used to do a lot of cross-stitching as well. It was just very peaceful. Whenever there was somewhere that didn't have Wi-Fi in my childhood, it'd be cross-stitching. Oh, it's the map of Super Mario Bros. 3. World 6. Have fun. That seems great.
I love that.
I am just going to run off for a second because I need like all of the painting supplies because I decided to do it this very last minute. So I was like, So I'm just like, I have the paint and the paintbrush, but not the water and the pencil and everything. So I'm like, right.
Yes, rival things. Another drawing person. Have fun. A mirror portal. Yes, homework does count. Feel free to just use this as productivity space too.
I love that. I wish I could be that productive. The thing is, I've got my computer open, so I'm like, I could do work, I suppose. I just don't want to.
Yeah, feel free to ask us any questions if you have any. I might just throw out some Gothic questions to have casual chats.
I like that. See, this is when we work out who's really good at multitasking and who is not good at multitasking. And whilst I'm just ripping pages out, that's fine. You can have my attention. The moment it gets to cutting and sticking, that's when I'm going to struggle. Like, oh, I'm sorry, you want a conversation? That's not going to happen today.
It would have been the other way for me because, like, searching for what I want, I'd be so concentrated, and then cutting and sticking, I'd be like, primary school teaching has taught me to cut and stick loads and loads of stuff.
I feel like over the years I've gotten worse at multitasking.
It can be hard.
Okay, who decided that they were going to do a photo shoot with this really beautiful woman and then make her stick a Scotch egg in her eyes? He was like, oh, that'll be sexy. If you keep your mouth open, still really sexy. No, it's weird. It's weird that you've done that.
It's a very weird choice. I don't know who loves Scotch eggs that much, but they'd rather see it than her beautiful face. But
imagine if you couldn't walk past the delicatessen without being like, oh.
If you had to put one food in front of her eyes that you would definitely pause to check out, what food would it be?
So Sarah Millican does this joke where she describes herself as a cake pigeon because anytime she walks past a cake shop, she's like, ooh, that's me. That's me for sure. So I think if it was like mini pastries, get me every time because I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm having more because there's like a selection of them. I'm not. I'm having probably just the same amount of pastry as I've just had. 1 + 1, but I'm like, oh, it feels fancy because there's more of them. So yeah, mini pastries probably.
Mini pastries, that's a good option.
What about you? What food would?
Donuts. I would definitely pause. They're perfect for fitting around your eyes as well.
Mine would be cinnamon rolls. Throwing out.
Cinnamon roll. Good choice.
Very
good. I was laugh because that Scotch egg thing was just like completely out of context for me while I was across the room.
Do you want to see it? I'll see if I can find it again. It was just so bizarre. Like, why?
Wow.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. We're just talking about Scotch eggs in the eye.
I know, I was watching and I couldn't stand the Scotch egg slander because that person who walks past the deli and is like, sees a Scotch egg and is like, oh my God, that's me. Scotch egg feed.
Becca was the director of that photo shoot.
Yeah, I like that.
I just like fancied a snack while the shoot was happening. And it's like, you know what I'd really love to see right now? Scotch egg.
That was the shoot before lunch. After lunch, there wasn't quite so much food to be had, but everyone was just really hungry.
Oh my god.
I like this. This is arts and crafts and productivity at the same time.
Yes. Oh, I'm really excited actually because Lizzie has just uploaded her unboxing the Gothtober merch box, and Danny has recorded herself unboxing all of the books that she ordered. That took up 2 boxes, and I had, because they live together, I had to put all of Danny's merch stuff in a separate box with Lizzie's because there wasn't enough space. Because someone decided to treat themselves.
I have to appreciate that.
Thank you for coming here to support nonetheless. We appreciate.
I don't even know if this pin is going to work on wood, but we're going to find out.
Oh, we didn't ask Becca, what are you arts and crafting?
None of my actual crafts that I'm doing at the minute are spooky. So like I'm knitting a blanket and I also have a cross stitch on the go. So I have one journal page that I need to finish and then maybe some illustration.
Nice.
That sounds good.
Meanwhile, my brain's just going, this is Halloween, this is Halloween.
I've been listening to that song all year, so it's in my most played playlist. So when it pops in, it just makes me really happy. It's like my jolly song, you know?
Yeah.
As soon as it started to get into autumn, I just started singing the spooky, scary skeleton song, which I just associate with Ashley, because last year she was here quite a few times over autumn or the year before, and she keeps singing it, but only the first line.
I didn't know any other words besides skeleton, so I was just walking around a house singing that constantly.
I love that.
She's like,
The thing is, in this household, you sing the first line of something, and someone you don't even necessarily know that someone else is in the house until you sing the first line of something, and then someone just pipes up.
Like, oh, you're home.
My brother did like a sound and lighting apprenticeship as part of like the school theatre thing. So he would learn like all the really like popular songs for singing and stuff like that. And he couldn't help it. He couldn't help it. You'd sing the first line of something and he would feel compelled to finish the song for you.
Oh my goodness, drawing is harder than I remember.
Oh, Alice just said that she sings, what's this? What's this? What's this?
Yes.
And then the, what's this?
It's just too tempting not to.
That's just one I sing whenever I hear the phrase, what's this? Like, it just comes out.
I mean, that entire soundtrack, to be fair.
It's the vibe.
We love the ASMR vibes.
I've now got Mr. Santa Claus, that one stuck in my head. I'm still thinking about like other songs that are on that track.
I need to rewatch that. I've not watched it in a while.
Do you guys have a favorite creepy film?
Mine will always be Hocus Pocus, which isn't really creepy, but it's like my go-to Halloween film, or Halloween Town as well.
I like Halloween Town.
I don't know if it counts, but I'm now just obsessed with Interview with the Vampire because of Becca. I watched it for the first time last year and it was great.
Yeah, I love that movie.
It's so good that I don't associate it with Halloween. It's just a film that I watch a lot.
Yeah. It's really fun because we did for one of the book clubs I'm in, we did Mina and the Undead as our book pick. And it's really obvious that the author of that book is just obsessed with not only the book, but the film, because every reference to vampires is Interview with Vampire reference, as opposed to just vampires in general. And I appreciated that.
It's so
I've
good.
never actually read or watched it, and I really want to.
Okay, well,
It's so good.
It's like the most... It's hilarious because of how extravagant it is.
Yeah.
And it's like super gay without actually being gay.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
we'll do that for our next movie night. I introduced Olivia to Austinland. Has anyone else here seen Austinland?
No.
Oh my God, it's amazing. So it's about an American who breaks up with her boyfriend because she's just too obsessed with Jane Austen to really function as an adult. So she goes on this like holiday, which is like a full experience of what it would be like to step into Jane Austen's world, except she's paid for the cheapest package because where she can't function as an adult, she also can't pay bills either. So she spends all of her money going on this holiday and basically gets to experience being a poor person in Jane Austen stories. And it's just shenanigans. It's just really good fun. But my favorite part of the rewatch was every time Olivia would try and guess the ending, and getting really annoyed that I wouldn't say what the ending was.
I like being correct with my guesses, so I just wanted to know the answer already.
I need to know.
Competitive film watching.
Yeah. But to answer your question, my favorite like proper horror is Valentine with David Boreanaz, like the 90s one. Is that the correct answer? It's such a good film.
Like anything with David Boreanaz in.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. Would I know him from anywhere?
He's
Angel in Angel
from Buffy.
No. Okay.
I mean, you're my friend, so you should know who he is, but like...
You had that, what's he called? The guy on your Patreon sprints, and I was like...
Oh, Giles. It was Giles.
Why have you got King Arthur on your screen? I was just really confused. She's like, it's Giles, and I'm like, it's King Arthur!
I discovered that Buffy talks a thing, and honestly, I've never looked back.
No.
Honestly, not surprised. There's an area of TikTok for everything.
There really is. Even if you're like, that won't be it. Oh, no, it is. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. Someone's making a clay pumpkin. Oh my god. Is that one of those where it's like you have it come as already formed and you paint it, or are you actually making the clay? You're making it. I'm intrigued. Did anybody else used to do those things where it's like you'd go to a pottery type of thing and like paint your own mug or something?
Yes.
No, but I always wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one around the corner from me that has all kinds of things. That was really fun. I felt bad for people we were with though, because some of them had come down for someone's birthday. That's why we were there. But they'd like come down from like Derby. And then it's like, okay, come pick it up in a week. And they were like, we're not going to be here in a week. So we've spent the last 2 hours painting this for no reason.
Yeah.
I used to do it, but Curtis's dad's ex-girlfriend had her own pottery studio, so I used to go in after work because it was like we worked in an office above her shop. So after work, I'd just have some therapy.
I was seeing some favorite films. Coraline is a favorite. I can't remember. Is that the one we said we were going to watch? Oh no, we're going to be watching Corpse Bride, right?
Corpse Bride, yeah. Coraline was one of the options. But yeah, Corpse Bride.
So there's a watch along of that coming later. Somebody else who has watched a lot of Empire, Interview with a Vampire. You got some Austenland fans, Hannah.
Yes. I love that.
How are we struggling to like
Clay pumpkin. That's great. I would have thought there'd be more people decorating pumpkins.
I do have, hang on. A tiny pumpkin. But I don't want to carve it
Don't
yet.
say tiny pumpkins, because every time somebody says pumpkin, I sing tiny pumpkins. And you know, you said tiny pumpkins, and it's just, no, please
I
stop.
know. I was just about to say it, then I'm like, can't say the word pumpkin now without Bob Burnham in my head going, tiny pumpkins.
Yep.
Fluffy, comfy socks. My coffee table made, sorry.
Over the Garden Wall. I've never heard of that. Has anybody else?
Heard of it, but can't
I
remember.
have, but I can't remember what it is.
Interesting. Tell us more.
No, the moment I read that, I was thinking Over the Wayward Wall. I was like, that is something very different.
Oh my god, you made it from scratch? Wow.
That is impressive.
That's cool.
I want to see it. You need to tag like Gothtober so we can see.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I'm struggling to make the color orange, and I'm like, really? Hey, there we go, got it. Coffee table made out of driftwood.
Stop.
I've got it stuck in my head as well now, which is really unfair.
Sorry.
I've already been singing it for most of the day. I saw a golden retriever, that was why.
It's the most annoying song as well because he lists off so much stuff that like life is a reference to that song, and it's like,
Yeah.
I want to make an Instagram reel at some point with that if I can find it, and like literally me just being like preparing for autumn, and it's just that verse.
Yeah.
It's just like, yep, this is pretty much me.
See, I'm at the moment, because of how in love with the sound TikTok is, I just keep hearing that's a scarecrow bit. It's like, and
Yes.
that seems to be everywhere at the moment.
I mainly hear it from Curtis because he is obsessed with it, to the point where he listens to really dramatic acoustic covers of the songs as well. Instrumental, like female vocalist covers.
Yeah,
Just
to be
while
fair,
doing
some of those are really good.
I know, I've heard most of them.
I still stand by the fact that Curtis looks like Bo Burnham in that film.
I did tell him that, and I can't remember what his response was.
I think it was just something like vaguely homeless guy, and I was like, yeah.
Bless him. He's not having a good time at the minute because his wisdom teeth are pushing through and they've broken his gums, so his gums are really sore where they're splitting.
I feel like I'm missing like a whole world by not being on TikTok.
It's a wild place.
It is.
I go through periods where like I'll be on it all day, every day, and then I won't touch it for 6 months. And then I'll go back.
Which phase you're in, because you'll just suddenly start sending loads of links. This is you, Ashley. This is you.
No, but that one that I sent you earlier was literally you.
Yeah, that one was a bit freaky. Like, there was a girl and she was doing a transition of some sort, but like right after the transition happened, she literally looked like me. Like, her face was mine. I was like, what?
She was also dressed as a superhero in a bra top as well, so Ashley took it as a compliment, which...
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll take that.
I took the screenshot. It was so hard to get that screenshot as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can, yeah. The only thing I've ever found that kind of looks like me is a girl trying to surfboard in her bath. And anytime it comes up, it's not me. And they're like, it is though. It is, because it really, in a sec, I'll get my phone and I'll show you, because it is a ridiculous doppelganger. But I'm that friend that has TikTok so that my other friends don't have to. Like, I will send them videos via WhatsApp so they don't have to scroll through to find the good stuff, you know? If they're like, Hannah, there's a train, I'm like, yes, it's here. Don't worry, I got you.
TikTok is a blessing and a curse.
So Over the Garden Wall is a cartoon TV show from 2014. Very short, takes 2 hours to watch the whole thing. It's so creepy and autumnal. Recommend. That's perfect for me. I like watching short things that I can just complete very easily.
I'm so bad at watching anything that takes me years.
I might do that tonight, actually. I haven't watched any more of Midnight Mass yet. So I'm still only 3 episodes in.
I haven't watched any more of my rewatch of What Never Lost.
Did you make it at least to the point where you stopped last time?
Yeah, because I found out that was only like episode 3. I thought I was near the end, and I'm like, oh. Maybe not.
Had you seen the episode that I was talking about? The episode's called Bent Neck Lady. I think it's episode 3 or 4.
Yeah. I think that's the one I saw from.
Is this The Haunting of Hill House?
Yeah.
I really like that show.
That's good.
Where is that one?
So I've sent the GIF in the two group chat so that you can see it, just because I'm not entirely sure that this is really going to show you how much it looks like me.
Oh, I feel like I've seen this.
But I promise I'm not that stupid.
I see what you mean, though.
Right?
Yeah, I see it. Why would you jump so forcefully on a surfboard in your bathtub?
That's what I mean. That's what I'm like, okay. I know I can do some stupid stuff, but I'm not like that's next level. That's what I'm trying to hurt myself.
The way she looked shocked afterwards, and I'm like, what did you think would happen?
She just assumes that the water would definitely hold her up, even though when she gets in the water, that doesn't happen. So
I love that Ali's like, I would probably do that.
it's going to be really bizarre for the hosts that have no idea what that is a reference to. It's like, oh, it's just in there in the chat.
Yeah, that's true. They're just like, oh.
I mean, to be fair, if they've met me, they'll understand.
How's everyone's crafting going?
Well, I cut out creepy lady. Creepy lady is now flimsy lady.
Oh, she's creepy.
Ooh.
Right?
I wanted an outline of some roses for my journal page, and like it's just a bit of decoration, but I'm drawing the whole thing out, and it's just really not going to be worth it, but it's happening.
We're here, we might as well.
Yeah.
I'm just painting pumpkins. I'm kind of like, because I want to put letters on each one so that it spells out Halloween. But I don't know what to do with the background, so I just decided to do pumpkins instead.
I actually need to go and get my pumpkins. I don't like getting them too early though, because when you carve them, they start to collapse real quick. So I normally get them a few days before Halloween, but then the pumpkin patch is empty, and you have the rubbish pumpkins that nobody else wanted.
Yeah. It's a catch-22, isn't it, really? Hey, Hannah! It was really aggressive. It was more that it just was there in the corner of my head.
Hello. Thank you for joining, all the people who are vibing with us.
Well, in the so I was just gonna say, in the quiz last year, we found out why pumpkins explode, and they're seen as like a vampire veg, basically, in Romania, because they go extra squishy and then they explode.
Is it because of the gas when they're decomposing?
Yeah.
Cool.
Not me just being like, pumpkins explode, look suspiciously at me.
I was like,
No one told me
no,
this.
you'll be all right.
I didn't know that they explode. So that's why I asked, because I'm like, I feel like that would be the reason why they explode, but I just want to be sure.
I mean, they're not going to explode just like overnight. It's just, I think it's something to do with like the change in temperature. I think where it gets really, really hot and then really, really cold. Something like that. I can't remember. I'll have to rewatch it to find out. It was just really, really fun watching everyone try and work that out.
I'm looking forward to this year's quiz and the random facts that I'm going to be learning this time around as well.
Love a quiz.
I'm really sad that I can't join them all. Just like, I love quizzes.
Which day is the quiz?
It's not this Saturday coming, it's the one after, I think.
Oh, cool.
Oops, because next week is going to be the Escape the Mansion shenanigans one.
No, that's going to be interesting.
I need to message people that are coming actually, because we need to do a run through. So you've got like character stuff. It's not going to be like a proper D&D game because that's quite intense to set up in a week. And plus, I don't know if anyone that's joining has ever played D&D before. So it's just going to be a kind of like a role play, need to escape the creepy mansion type thing. With all the stuff with like final girls, like that trope really getting a resurgence, I thought it'd be a good fun time. See which girls were going to be the last one.
Yeah, I was thinking before the live show about like the worst book setting to be in that would be the most horrible. And I was thinking that mine would be the Hunger Games, because I just know I wouldn't be able to kill anybody, so then I would end up dead, and it would be a very big problem for me. I wouldn't be happy with that. So that would be the worst one.
Trying to think what I've read that's truly awful and I really do not want to live it. Well, most things actually.
I was gonna say,
I read a lot of grimdark.
I was going to say, like any of those settings, probably. See, my first thought was Battle Royale, and I was like, well, that's kind of what Hunger Games is based on anyway, so I guess that's a cheat answer. Just don't put me on an island where I've just got to kill to survive, because I probably won't survive.
Maybe Horror Store. That one would not be fun.
Yeah, that was a creepy book.
I'm really struggling to think of anything, because when it comes to like horror stuff, I'm just like, I'd go for shits and giggles. Like, I'd want to see if it was actually happening. I'd be the person who dies first in a horror film, basically.
Tish is being really quiet, and that's either because she's concentrating or because she.
I am. This is proving to be extremely hard.
I was like, I know you read a lot of horror. I'm sure that if anything, the plot twist would be that it was Tish all along.
I just feel like I would leave. Like every time I watch a horror film and something scary happens, everyone wants to stick around and be like, let's figure this out. And I'd be like, no, I'm going to go. Whatever happens to you guys happens. I'll let the police know on the way out, but do not include me in this. I don't want to.
I was always so sure that I was going to be that person, but where I was living just before I moved in here, there was like a hole in the cellar, and you could crawl around like underneath the house. And I was just so tempted to go and see what it was going to be like. But I was also very aware that's how everybody dies in a horror film. So
yeah, you didn't, and that's why you're alive.
Yes. Mine would be more of the fear. I don't like doing like anything like that. Is an absolute no, because I'm always convinced that I'm going to find a dead body under there.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
I feel like I watch enough true crime to where that for sure would freak me out, because I'm like, they find bodies everywhere, like even in places where you wouldn't even consider it. You're like, how? Who thought of this?
I would 100% be that person who's like, let's go and follow the weird song. Let's go find out what it is. It's like, well, nice knowing you.
Yeah.
I mean, we
really
knew that when it happened in my house, and we didn't die. We also didn't find out what the sound was, though. So
True.
I just find it so bizarre that like there can be loads of people in my house and there's like no sound whatsoever. The moment I'm in the house by myself, that's when all the creepy sounds start, and it's like, but there's no one here. Why are you doing that?
when I got back from my tattoo appointment earlier, Curtis didn't even realize I'd come home, and I was like, wow, somebody could literally just come in and rob everything, and you would have no idea.
Sounds about right, to be fair.
He was in the attic, so like.
I was gonna say, is like, how many floors up?
Yeah. Still, though, I thought he'd hear the door.
Yeah, true.
You kind of just know when the door. It's just an instinctual thing to hear your own front door, I feel.
Yeah.
Especially because we've got like 2 of them.
Yeah.
So if you weren't sure the first time, you just listen for a second and then the second one.
I'm struggling. I feel like his head is a bit flat.
I was about to say same. Yeah.
Needs brain space.
I don't know whether to paint the background of these orange for my layers.
Decisions. Oh, there's some other people who would definitely leave as well.
We're like, and we're out of here.
I just don't understand why anybody would ever stay.
Yeah.
Especially when people start getting murdered and they have the opportunity to leave.
Yeah, let's draw the line at murder. What's going on?
They're mowing outside my window,
Ah, okay.
which they've been doing for like 3 days. I'm like, guys, I think the grass is. I think it's fine now. I think you can go home. Here it comes again.
Sounds a bit like lightsabers, to be honest.
Yeah, it does. I was going to say that, and then I was like, don't say that, Hannah. Everyone already knows you're a massive nerd. You don't need to make it worse.
Lightsaber TikTok is a niche of TikTok that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Not like
It's really cool.
lightsaber fighting.
Surviving because of clumsily making your way through things. That would be great. A plastic leg just chilling in the woods. That would have creeped me out. Oh no, I'm sorry that you sprained your ankle.
Oh god.
Very good idea to do nothing and chill.
I hope that's after you've moved all your stuff in, because Abby is in the process of moving house at the moment.
Oh no.
Which feels like the most inopportune moment to do that. Not that spraining your ankle is something you want to do for fun things anyway.
Just particularly inconvenient right now.
Yes.
I don't know. I thought about it a couple of times when I really didn't want to go to work.
I mean, you could have also just lied. So please, not actually done it.
I know, but that would make me feel bad. I like the decision to be taken out of my hands. Like, well, I can't go to work now, so it's not my fault because I actually can't.
No guilt.
Yeah.
Just pain.
Has anybody watched Squid Game?
Yes.
I will do, because it's so up my street, but I just haven't got to it yet.
I have zero idea what it's about. But everybody, like, I'm intrigued because everybody's reactions are so different. And I feel like at this point it depends which episode. Sometimes people are just like, this is so weird, and then some people are like crying. Some people are like, this is horrific, and I'm like, what is going on? So
from what I can gather, it's about capitalism. Because I've just seen people's Twitter reactions. And Cody also told me to watch it, but I can't have, because I watch TV so rarely. I have to watch one thing at once. So when I finish Midnight Mass, I will watch Squid Game.
Yeah, I watch things very rarely too. And I started Angel Beats for Gothtober for the Angel prompt, but I was already watching New Girl, and now I just feel overwhelmed by having options of like 2 things to watch. Squid Game has to wait, but I do want to watch it as well.
New Girl is my comfort show. It's like what Friends is for a lot of people. I can just watch New Girl over and over and over again.
yeah.
See, I didn't like New Girl the first time I watched it, and I think that's because when I first watched it, I watched it expecting Jess to be like the main character, and now I kind of watch it with Schmidt being the main character, and I enjoy it a lot more.
But Nick Miller, love of my life.
Yeah.
It just feels like family vibes. So
Yeah.
happy there.
And I love all of them equally. Like, it's one of the best shows in terms of like none of the characters are awful.
Yay, knitting. I'd love to be able to knit or crochet or something like that, but I do not have the coordination that's required.
It kind of becomes like a muscle memory eventually, where you can just do it.
Just gotta work up to it.
So you sound really convinced there, Olivia.
I just need to dedicate myself to it.
I have a feeling I'll one day learn, but when that day will come, I don't know.
There's too many things I want to learn in life.
To teach you how to knit. And you keep saying no, so it's your own fault that you can't knit yet.
When was the last time I was at your house, Becca?
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
No, I may take you up on the offer. It's funny because I imagine like when people think of booktubers actually like meeting in real life or whatever, or like when like what do they do when they hang out together and it's like apparently sit and knit.
Oh my god, I really wish that you were here. Because not because of you, but just because I needed 2 days of pseudocreme, just sitting in my sweatpants with pseudocreme, and I was like, this reminds me of Ashley because this is what we do. Just like, I feel like that sounded really creepy actually, the way I kind of gave no context. Pseudocreme on spots to like antibacterial your skin.
When you said the pseudocreme in my sweatpants, and I was like, wait, I don't remember doing this.
The pseudocreme was not in my sweatpants.
It's like I clearly missed something.
Like, we were both there, but we had very different experiences.
Cooking definitely counts for arts and crafts. It takes a lot of creativity sometimes.
Yeah. Especially if, like me, you are not a fan.
I like cooking.
Darth Vader doing arts and crafts with a pink glitter helmet. Perfect.
Why not?
Squid Game's fans. Winston appreciation.
Oh, I think we all need a Winston.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
His reaction to cocktails is how I react to cocktails. Just the sheer enthusiasm.
And oh my god, Winston and Ferguson. The relationship between those.
Yeah.
The best thing.
Yeah, this is actually very chill. I quite like this arts and crafts session for like no pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, like, at the minute, all I'm doing is literally painting the wood. And I'm like, this is very satisfying because it's obviously got the ridges in it. And I'm like, wee.
Sorry, what were you doing, Ashley?
I'm just like, it's just really satisfying to do.
I'm sure it is. Every time I hear the word ridges now, I just think of Ice Planet Barbarians, which is...
Oh no.
I'm not sure I want to know why.
Praise the Ridge.
Huh?
Praise the Ridge. I believe it's a hashtag that is
Oh god.
So upsetting.
Ice Planet Barbarians.
I'm so tempted to read that series just to know what it's like.
If you do, I want to see the vlog that comes out afterwards. I cannot imagine that being your sort of thing.
Somebody on Instagram kept sharing reviews of like monster romances, and I mentioned that I would do a vlog where I just try 3 monster romance books and just have an interesting experience.
I mean, I'd pay to see that content.
Not Ice Planet Barbarian. Oh, what are you guys, I guess because it's booktube, what are you guys all reading at the moment?
I'm reading about 10 different things because apparently I can't ever just read one thing at a time like a normal person. So I'm currently reading The Final Girl Support Group, Plain Bad Heroines, The Haunting of Evelyn Jones, and then some others that I haven't picked up in 2 weeks, so I don't think I should count.
How do you like decide what book you're going to pick up at the moment that you're like, I'm going to sit down and read one?
It would depend on how much time I've actually got to sit down and read. So I've got 2 audiobooks on the go. One will be on Audible and one will be on Scribd because my Wi-Fi is really sketch. So if the internet's being bad because I don't know, it's a day ending in Y, I'll listen to it on Audible. If it's working, then I'll listen to it on Scribd. And then if I've actually got time to sit and wait for something, then I'll pick up whichever hardback or paperback is closest. Is kind of how I decide. And then it's a mood thing, really.
I can't read more than one thing at once unless I have a specific reason. So like when I used to work in an office, I would have one book that I like read on my lunch and then one book that I read when I was at home. But now that I don't have that differentiation in my day, I can't really read more than one thing at once. Saying that, I'm currently reading 2 books, but one is on audio. So I'm listening to, I've got them both here actually because this is the only place that I ever sit. I'm listening to Lord of the Rings on audio and I'm reading the Atlas 6 physically. So
Hey, same. Yeah, I'm still reading Atlas 6 and then I've got Tommy, I don't know which way it's pronounced, by Junji Ito, which is a manga.
That sounds good. I want to read that one.
I have that one too. She's a chunker.
Yeah, it's like 700 pages or something. But
I want to read Tomi and Uzumaki, but I read Goyo and I didn't like it. But then it's about fish with robot legs. So
yeah, the one I'm reading is kind of like, because it's more of a succubus type thing. So it's literally just like people are being traumatized by this demon.
I love that.
It's more, It's because Tommy is a girl who just will not die. Like, she just keeps regenerating. If they ever, like, even if they chop her up, all of the limbs just grow heads and become more of them. Which I've come to realize that I just laugh at a lot of things that are meant to be horrifying. Are you okay? I'm just like, who imagined this?
how far into Atlas 6 do you know?
Atlas 6, I think I'm about 150 pages in. I've been really tired over the last few days, so I haven't been reading much.
I actually only started it this morning. I'm already 75 pages in, and I think I've only read for about an hour.
Yeah.
So I don't really quite know how it's happened, but
I thought it was going to be a slow read, but I've definitely gotten used to it now and gotten into it, so I'm not finding it.
Yeah, same. I struggled with the first 40 pages, but then when I put it down and picked it back up, it was like I didn't even notice the writing style.
Yeah. I really love it, though.
It reminds me a lot of An Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard, which is a book that I like a lot.
Enough read.
How about you, Tish? What are you reading?
I just started The Only Good Indians.
I want to read.
Same.
But I finished False Witness by Karen Stir like a night ago, and it was good, but the matter is, which apparently is a thing for Karen Slaughter books, and like I've only ever read like one other book, but it took me a while to read it just because the subject matter was so heavy, because it dealt a lot with like, pedophilia, and I was like not expecting that at all.
That sounds quite intense.
The one thing that I know about Karen Slaughter is that her books are very graphic.
They are.
She's just one of those people, and I'm like, your name is very apt.
Yeah.
Like, to the extent where I'm like, did you give yourself a different name? Is this your real name?
And I'm currently reading White is for Witching by Helen Oyeyemi and The Woods Are Always Watching by Stephanie Perkins. And I'm not loving either of them, but we'll keep going.
So I kind of want to read the Helen Oyeyemi one, but I'm also like, something's holding me back. I don't know if it's just...
I've read something by Helen Oyeyemi, and I can't remember what it is. Don't think I liked it, though, because I think it's like fabulism.
Considering I remember, I don't think you did enjoy it.
The writing style is very unique, and I quite like that it's unique and creative, but it's still not working for me nonetheless. Somebody else is rereading Twilight. I mean, same. I've also started rereading Twilight too.
Just finish it.
I didn't just finish it. It's actually been a while since I've read it, but I usually kind of dip in and out of it. So I've been doing that for a while now.
I was going to say, I'm like, are you ever not reading Twilight?
I was going to say, it's pretty much a
That's a
brag.
good question. I did recently watch all of them, so
I feel like I'm due a rewatch, but I also just like the people on TikTok who recreate it.
Yes. Oh my god, that's my favourite thing.
So
There's one creator in particular that has done like Jasper impressions, and it's just her just like staring really intently, and she's like recreated the scene where Bella is like introduced in the cafeteria, and she's like, "No, who's that?" And it's just him, just like. It's so creepy, but it's my favorite thing.
if I join TikTok, it'll be just for that.
I'll tell you what, Olivia, I will text it to you later because it's a treat.
that is 100% the side of TikTok Olivia would end up on.
Without a doubt.
1/3. So 2 people reading Empire of the Vampire.
It was really popular in the TBRs and stuff for Gothtober, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
It did not surprise me at all.
It's on mine, but I haven't started it yet, and it will take me. I won't be surprised if it's the last book I read, just because when my most anticipated releases come out, unless I have an arc, I put them off for as long as possible. It's like I'm just not ready.
Got to emotionally prepare.
Yeah.
It's like All or Nothing. You either like will not read anything until it's in your hands because you know you want to read it right away, or you have it and then you're like, I'm gonna read this other book instead.
Yeah. That's me with literally any book I think I'm going to enjoy, though. So
Yeah.
See, my problem is I'll like pre-order a book because I'm really, really excited for it, and then by the time it comes round, it's so not what I'm in the mood to read. And the last 3 books that I've read that were pre-orders, I've either DNF'd or unhauled after reading.
yeah,
It's like heartbreaking.
You have someone starting Horror Store. I really enjoyed that.
me too.
Really like Grady Hendrix. Wow, those are some thick books. Poppy War, A Deadly Education, and Kingdom of Ash.
Wow.
Oh, Kingdom of Ash is chunky.
It's huge. Many multi-readers here. The Maidens, When No One Is Watching, Ace of Spades, and A Lady's Guide to Etiquette Murder.
I like that there's like a spectrum there of like different types of mystery.
I pretty much do the same thing about like swapping after I finish a chapter or just depending on the mood, which is why my currently reading pile is always way too big. Question for Hannah, what was Kieran doing?
I would love to tell you what Kieran was doing, but it is for surprise content that is coming out in Jan, and I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, super.
But it's he's basically he's making me something, but
Exciting.
I'm terrible at keeping fucking secrets as it is. Now that you've asked me, I really want to tell you, but I'm trying not to.
I did my highest tier Patreon live show last night, and I said I have plans, but I'm not going to tell you what they are. And somebody said, "Tell us the plans," and I did straight away.
Like I've been doing like a year-long booktube like project thing, and it's one of those things where like I just periodically bring it up in conversation with people and being like, oh, have I told you that I'm doing this thing? Like, no. I'm like, no, I haven't told anyone except all of these people, because at least once a month I need to get this off my chest. So I think that's the closest I've become to actually keeping one of my secrets.
If I have long-term plans like that, then I tend not to share them because I'm not very good at long-term anything. So, like, do you know how you get assignments at uni and it's like you have 8 weeks to do this? I would do it in the last 5 days because I just don't know how to do something over a long period of time. Like, it has to have all of my attention for a short period of time. I can't just do, like, little bits.
Yeah.
So I don't tell anyone because I know that the likelihood is that about 3 months into it, I'm going to get bored and think it's a shit idea and then just not do it.
Question for people who have read Freddie Hendricks. I read Best Friends at System and didn't like it. I don't know which one to go for next that's going to give me the like best chance of actually enjoying it.
See, I didn't like it either, and I'm not massively enjoying the Final Girl support group either. And I know Tish has had real issues with the vampire.
I didn't like that at all.
I have heard that the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires is like his worst one.
This is the thing, right? Bobby's commented on my video being like, give that one a try before you give up on him. And I'm like, that's probably the one I'm least interested in.
Maybe because it's different.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet. I have it, but I haven't read it yet. So maybe it's because it's different from his other stuff. So like you might like it because you didn't like that.
I do have it because the publisher sent me an art randomly, so I was like, oh, hello.
I think like my issue with it was that it's supposed to be satire and kind of like commentary about how things are in the South, like as far as like racism and stuff goes. But like while I was reading it, I was like, who is this for? Because the experiences that he's giving, I have experienced that on a certain level. And so it's like, I don't really want to read about this when I'm just supposed to be reading about a book like where it's supposed to be a fun vampire thing. Like the way it was marketed was like, oh, it's this housewife book club that's going to go hunt vampires. And then there's this subject matter that I'm just like, this isn't fun. This is not fun at all. And there were just like so many instances where I was just like really uncomfortable and like nobody talks about it. I watched so many reviews and like nobody addresses that there's things in it that's supposed to be satire. They're just like, oh, it's scary, it's creepy, and it's fun. But again, there's some pretty heavy subject matter in the book. And I'm just like, why doesn't anybody talk about this? So I didn't like it just because reading it, I was like, what is this? I don't like this.
Well, someone responded because like they tagged Gothtober in it for today, where they were like, "Oh, no one told me that all of these triggers are in this book. Like, no one has mentioned that all these triggers are in this book." And if that's something that you're like, "Oh, well, I know that I need trigger warnings for such and such," like I would definitely recommend looking that up. Like, I won't pick it up because it just doesn't sound like it's going to be my sort of thing. I've got Horror Store to give a go because that just sounds like it's going to be like good fun as opposed to like scary but not problematic.
Yeah, I would say Horror Store falls into that camp of just kind of being a scary one. It has some like talk about capitalism, but you can really just read it as a horror book, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, and like there were certain scenes in the book that were like serious, and then he'd follow it up with something like funny, and so you were like, is this supposed to be a serious moment, or are we cracking jokes at said serious moment? So I was just kind of confused, and not an enjoyable experience for me.
No, that's a shame.
More comments will currently read. Read another Helen Oyeyemi. Bit transphobic. Madame Bovary. I feel like I've heard of that before.
It's a classic French one.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, my thing with the Final Girl support group is obviously where they're all women, they're all dealing with a lot of like institutionalized misogyny and things like that, and it just doesn't feel authentic. Like it just doesn't feel, I don't know, it just doesn't feel real when he's like talking about stuff like that. And I don't know if that's because I know it's not a woman writer or like, and I'm projecting, or if it's just not good. I don't know. But I'm going to give Horror Store a go, and then I think I'm going to call it a day. Because like there are just some authors I'm like, I don't need to spend my money on you when I can be spending money on other people.
Right. And I didn't swear him off. Like I still do want to read the Final Girl support group and like Horror Store. But like if it's just going to be more of the other thing, and then he's just not going to be an author for me. Because I did want to read, My Best Friend's Exorcism? Because the cover on that book is super cool. It just looks like an old VHS tape. And so I was like, oh, I want to pick this up. But I don't want it to be more of the same thing.
I did like My Best Friend's Exorcism, but I think Hannah didn't. And Hannah said you guys have a lot of reading tastes in common.
Yeah, I wasn't that impressed with it. But
okay.
That doesn't mean don't give it a go.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just buy it for the cover because it's cool.
I liked it.
I do think, from what I remember anyway, that it does stick to the like camp of fun horror type stuff.
Good.
I will say I was mainly in it for the vibes because it's set in the 80s. So.
Yeah.
See, that's one of the things where I'm like, is this why I didn't like it? Like, I wasn't overly impressed with his writing or anything, but what if it was just like not my vibe, which is why I'm like, is there another one I can try?
Speaking of 80s vibes, though, Becca, have you read Certain Dark Things by Sylvia Moreno Garcia?
No.
It's basically Buffy set in the 80s.
Oh my god, don't.
Like, it's so good. Like, I only read like the first 3 chapters for like a video, and then I've saved it for Gothtober, and I'm so excited to read it because I'm really enjoying it. It's got sassy characters, it's got like a heartfelt shit, like it's classic Buffy vibes, but 80s Mexico City. And it's gonna be a good time.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to read it. I have Mexican Gothic that I'm reading maybe this month, so after that I might pick up that one.
Nice.
I really liked Mexican Gothic. I thought it was really neat.
I'm excited for it. I really liked Gods of Jade and Shadow.
I'm gonna say they're one of those authors where I'm like, right, stop buying their books and actually read one of the ones you've got, because you might just hate their writing.
It's funny because the only reason that I've actually read that book is because I borrowed it off you.
Yeah, you've read my book before I did, and I'm like, well. So I've got Gods of Jade and Shadow, Mexican Gothic, and The Beautiful Ones.
Yeah, I've got 4 of them on my TBR this month because I was like, look, I bought more now. Let's commit. I'm either going to love this author or hate them. So is
that going to be a vlog? That sounds like a vlog.
It wasn't originally. Originally, I was just going to do the Final Girls trope reads.
Yeah.
But it might. It might if I just cram all of them into 1 week. Because they're all slightly different. And I really like how flexible her writing style is.
Yeah, because now I'm intrigued about, is it Velvet Was the Night?
Oh, I want to read that. That's a vampire neo-noir.
Yeah. And I'm just like, you're not allowed to buy it until you've read at least one of these other ones.
Have either of you read Stephanie Perkins' other book? I just watched the movie last night. I haven't read the book, but the movie was pretty interesting.
I haven't watched the movie yet, but I'm excited to watch the movie.
Is that the one about the house?
Yes. I don't know why I wasn't expecting it to be super gory, but it was.
Yeah, the book's kind of not like super gory because it's YA, but there is like a little bit of gore in it. But I really liked that book because it's nothing like amazing, but it is a slasher in a book. So it's like it delivers all the things it's supposed to, but it's not going to blow you away and become your favorite book ever. It's just like a fun slasher type book.
I want to read it after watching the movie because the movie was pretty good. I liked all the characters were interesting.
I think that's how I feel about There's Someone in Your House, which is also by Stephanie Perkins. Like, it's doing all of the horror things it should do for 2 girls camping in the woods by themselves, and there's something out there, but it's not going to be a favorite book either necessarily.
Yeah, I want to read her new one because it's in the same sort of style, isn't it, as the Someone Inside Your House.
I didn't even know there was another one.
I think it's just come out.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Is that the ones we're always watching, that one?
Yeah, it was in September or something, like very recent.
Yeah, because I bought that not realizing that it was like part of that same thing. So I bought it, was like, oh, I'm going to read this. And then I was like, oh, I can't read this until I've read that one first.
Is it connected?
I don't know. I know it. I think it's like the same characters or like characters from that. So,
I
haven't taken them out of order just in case.
I haven't even looked into that one because I know that I'll kind of pick it up eventually. But I just assumed it was another standalone slasher just from the cover. That's all I've seen in the cover.
I mean, I'm reading it and it doesn't feel connected to anything. Okay. But maybe it has like, I wouldn't know if there's like crossover characters or anything.
That's fair.
I haven't read the first one.
I might give it a go then just because it's nice and short.
That's why I chose to start Gothtober with it.
Yeah, that was smart.
This journal page just is not quite coming together and it's really irritating me.
Yeah, what is it you don't like about it? Or is it just not working?
It's just the positioning of everything really, but it's such a ball ache to change all of the layers on everything that it's not worth trying to do that. I'm just trying to make what I have already work.
A ghost. That's what. Sorry. I just sat here like, what else can I paint that's Halloweeny? Because I just keep painting pumpkins. And then I started thinking
you can do like classic Halloween with pumpkins and ghosts, or you can do like all the stuff like at the moment. And there's lots of like moths and mushrooms on like Halloween stuff at the moment, which obviously I love.
But then I'm just like, you have to work with my painting ability too.
Yeah. No, Ashley, I want intricate moths on everything, please.
I feel like it would look more like a bat if I tried doing it.
I mean, that's also Halloweeny. That could work.
Yeah. I've got some drawn, but I don't think they're going to look right when they're actually painted.
I might just give it up as a lost cause and have one terrible page.
Why are eyes so difficult to draw? Oh my gosh.
I couldn't tell you. I find everything difficult to draw.
I always do the thing where I'm like, draw one really good, but it's going to match. It's just not going to happen.
How's your hand coming along, Tish?
It's coming. This is the third time that I've painted this, because the other two, you know, kind of like if you do your eyeliner and you're trying to make them even, and the more you go, the bigger it gets. That's exactly what happened to the hand. I was like, let me just fill in this finger a little bit more, and then they were all just one finger. So I'm like, let's start over. Let's try it again.
I really want to I'm trying to find one, just like an ornament that's one of those, but I'm very picky with it. Because I don't like the ones that are too smooth. Like, I kind of want it to look, I don't know, antiqued or something.
Antiqued?
I can't find one that I like.
To be fair, I'm glad you said antiqued and not real, because I'll go, oh, all right.
Yeah. I want it to look taxidermied.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love that. To be fair, like where my parents have like a place in Wales, there's like a taxidermist around the corner, and every week they go around, there's something new in the window, and it's always just I like the way taxidermy looks. I don't like the idea of taxidermy. Like, it really upsets me. So if it just catches me at the side of my arm, like, that's not pleasant.
There's lots of people who are not happy with Southern book lives guide.
Ouch.
I'll give you a panic attack, oh god. I will say the misogyny, like when Bobby recommended it, she was like, the misogyny will drive you insane, but give it a go. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like a good time. Okay, well, I now have lots of pumpkins.
Olivia, you said you were going to ask us some Gothic questions when it got too quiet. I just thought I'm really concentrating, so now would be a great time.
I've also been very concentrating, so I've just forgotten about like all of the questions that I had to get ready. But I'll ask who your favorite villain is, or a villain that you find the creepiest, because I think sometimes favorite and creepy are not the same.
No,
my favorite villains are not because I find them creepy.
Okay, who is the creepiest villain that you've come across?
Oh.
there's a monster in Buffy in the episode Hush. They don't make a
Oh,
sound.
not the gentlemen.
They are the creepiest villain. Like, I just hate everything about them.
They're the
like
source
that-
of a lot of my childhood trauma.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite episodes because it's so clever, but I genuinely, like, they give me the heaves. I don't like it.
No, me either.
I can't think of anyone.
Then
I
you're not really
know that there is one, and I just can't think who it is.
I found in The Knife of Never Letting Go, not the film, the books, I found the mayor very creepy just because he was incredible with manipulation. And I think that is one of the scariest things, to be able to like mess with other people's minds and doubt themselves that way.
Yeah.
Oh, I've just me and Curtis finished. Well, we got up to date on The Boys yesterday, and I hate Stormfront in The Boys, like with a fiery passion. It's just like everything about The Boys is satirical, so all of the superheroes are assholes essentially. And there's a lot of kind of parodying Donald Trump and stuff in it. Like, there's a phrase that's essentially, I can't remember what it was, but it's essentially the same as Make America Great Again, but in a different word, like wording for the show, and it's like just like a huge kind of parody type situation, but Stormfront is the worst of them, I hear.
That sounds petrifying.
So I find Homelander in that really, really disturbing.
Oh yeah, but he's a great villain. I love him because he's so good. He's also a really good actor as well.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's just such such a twist on something that people have seen like 100 times. That he's such a dark character. It is such a. I really enjoy that whole TV series. It's so clever.
I'm trying to think if I've come in encounter with anything creepy lately. I mean, I guess the last book I read, pedophiles are pretty creepy, so I would say that.
Yeah. Yes, brilliant villain. Has anybody read My Heart is a Chainsaw?
No, but I want to.
Nope.
I also want to, but now I'm just like, you should read Only Good Indians first. Just make all these arbitrary rules in my head.
I always feel like I should read the one by the author I've heard of first before trying anything of their later works, even though maybe one of the later works would be more suited to my reading taste.
If it's an author that I haven't read from before, I have to read the book. So if I have one book by an author I haven't read from before, even if another book that they've written sounds more interesting, I can't have it until I've read the one that I own.
I feel like that's a good rule.
Yeah.
It's actually one that I kind of stick to most of the time as well, which is surprising because the rest of them I don't.
What's your favorite film or book that features ghosts in it?
Ooh.
Everything I've ever read and watched. Turn of the Screw, obviously. The books.
Yeah, that's good.
I've been wondering if I should read that before I watch The Haunting of Bly Manor, or whether I should just watch The Haunting of Bly Manor.
I think they're pretty different.
I think they're very different.
I'm going to say I haven't watched.
Because I mean, the TV series for The Haunting of Hill House is also very different from the book.
Yeah. I don't really think it matters.
But I also think you don't watch things very often. So watching it first, it's not like you're going to just binge it in all one go and then make a comparison back. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. That's true too. I think I don't like my drawing.
Oh no.
But I've gone so far. I'll show you guys what it's supposed to look like. Oh, well. If I can do that. Maybe I should. So this is what my picture looks like.
I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I just struggle with the eyes, honestly. I still feel like they're uneven.
I think Ghost-wise, Cemetery-wise deserves a shout out as well, because I know it's not creepy ghosts, but it is cute ghosts, and therefore it should be included.
Cute ghost is always welcome. I mean, the Raven Boys has a very cute ghost in it.
Very cute ghost. Agreed.
There was a movie that I used to watch over and over again when I was a kid that I no longer remember the name of that was really good. Is it called like Sophia's Ghost or something? I'm pretty sure I found it not long ago and I can't remember what it's called again, but it's about, I think, is it a boy? Like this kid moves to this place where there's a ghost that haunts it and he becomes friends with her. And it's really cute, but I can never remember what it's called. But I was obsessed with it.
I tried to look it up just now, but I got a lot of very scary ghost images. So
No, I don't think so. Oh, I thought it was called The Little Princess at one point, but I'm pretty sure I wasn't getting what I wanted.
That's a very different story.
Yeah.
we've got to vote for Castle Ghost.
I may have sent a picture of it to someone on Messenger, so I might be able to go through the photos and videos and find out what it's called.
Casper the Ghost. Not messing with ghost stories. Only Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo. To be fair, the Scooby-Doo movie is great. I love the Scooby-Doo movie.
That movie has a revival every year, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I'm a man of substance. Donkey chicks like you turn me on too.
No, it does not exist.
And what would you say? Oh, sorry. Or was that just my echo coming back at me?
Something was echoing, but I couldn't work out where it was from.
Okay. I was going to say, what would you find the creepiest gothic monster?
I mean, for me, I think the things that I find genuinely creepy about Gothic is like the really insidious stuff that doesn't seem to have explanation. Like anytime there's just like creepy music that's not coming from anything, or like it feels like something's watching you, but it isn't. That's insidious enough. Like I don't need the monster as such. That's gonna scare the shit out of me anyway.
Meanwhile, I'm just like demons.
Demons. And we were on the wrong team, actually.
It's because it's like they tend to be the stories where you can't really do much besides have an exorcism, and I'm just like, I wouldn't even know how to do one of those. And also like contortionist stuff and like when bodies are going in weird positions I don't like, so I'm just like,
yeah, no, I would say definitely possession, like that kind of situation.
And there's like no way to know when it's coming either. It's like one day you're completely normal and then you stumble into the wrong thing, and next thing you know, you're bending in weird angles and talking in a voice that's not yours.
In a language you didn't know before. Sounds like a good night out.
It's kind of just like the stuff that doesn't have a physical form, I guess, because I'm just like, if a monster was coming at me, then at least I can hit it with something. Ghosts and demons, I'm just like, I can't do anything about you.
This is how I exist now. This is there.
I guess this is what we are.
Yeah, I would say that my favorite horror is psychological, so I guess that would be humans, because humans can be very scary. But I also find things that you just don't notice. So I guess ghosts, very scary, where they're in the room, but you don't know that they're in the room, which I guess you can't know to be scared of them. But
right,
I find just anything that can hide from you and be present without you being aware of it is very creepy to me.
Mm.
So I think we're going to do another half an hour. But you don't have to finish your craft by then. No rush.
That's good.
The creature in Pan's Labyrinth is pretty creepy. I haven't seen that.
Oh, is that the hands thing? I've not seen it, but that is creepy.
I'm curious what this hands thing looks like.
I will say, I think I saw a tweet after the sprints that Tish did, maybe, where like someone mentioned the angels in Doctor Who, and I was like,
Oh, I hate them. They're terrifying.
They're creepy.
"Oh, bring
Yes,
those back to my memory, please."
Yes, those are very scary. Oh my gosh. There was one episode of Doctor Who which is called The Silence in the Library. And as a child, that one just absolutely petrified me for so long.
I don't know why my brain just went, "Why Panic at the Disco? You can have silence in the library." Anytime I hear a sentence like that now, it's just translates. Don't know why.
Favorite ghost movie is High Spirits, a cheesy 80s films set in the Irish Hotel. It sounds good.
Well, actually, one thing that is creepy is just like anything with children.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Kids are weird.
Don't like them at the best of times, never mind when they're staring at me like like, you're not supposed to even know how to function properly yet. Don't do that.
I mean, children are just generally scary.
Yeah. Agreed. Have any of you seen the film Eden Lake?
No.
No.
Okay, so it's a horror film essentially where a couple go on holiday to Eden Lake because they're going to fill it in. It's like they're going to turn it into a quarry. So this guy who used to go there all the time as a kid decides to take his missus there, and this group of teenagers turn up, and it's just this horrifying film of teenagers just like chasing and killing these people. And I watched that film a week before I started teacher training, and I'm not gonna lie, it shook me up.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, not my smartest idea ever.
You know what? Teenagers are scary. I still like walking past a group of teenagers scares me. Like when people make TikToks about that, they're not lying. That you're just like, oh my god.
They are terrifying.
And now I've got Teenagers by My Chemical Romance stuck in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what I was in the cinema to see. Oh, I was in the cinema to see A Quiet Place 2 with my youngest sister, and she doesn't do well with horror, generally speaking, but she manages A Quiet Place. And she was like, oh, it's going to be fine. It's A Quiet Place. I can manage that one. But she forgot about all the ads that happen before the film starts. So, of course, it's all horror because we're watching a horror film. And she was like covering her eyes, like, okay, I can't see anything. But you can still hear the music. And I don't know what it was an ad for, but it was like these two like little kids singing this song. And I just remember her freaking out. So,
Oh, yeah, don't like that. When kids sing in unison, it's creepy.
I'm just having a terrible time.
I'm curious to see how Hannah's collage is coming along.
I'm actually not too upset with it, but I think that's just because I've stuck to like 3 colours.
Okay, let's just get rid of this. This is going. We don't want it anymore.
I don't think I can call it Dark Academia themed, though. I think it's just monochrome.
Monochrome's good. Heavenly Halos love monochrome. Doctor Who fans. Weeping Angels. Silence of the Library episode. Yeah, whenever the lights go out, my sisters are like, hey, who turned out the lights? And then it's just like throwback. The creatures from Alien are scary. I would agree. I think some aliens can be really creepy in films.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try to do something in the background of this, but I'm so scared that I'm going to do it. No, I'm going to like it. Because I'm basically finished with the hand. It just looks really boring without anything in the background.
It's always such a difficult decision to make with art. Like, when are you done? And this is perfect. Can I make it better, or is it just going to go downhill from here?
Yeah.
Yes.
If I keep adding to this, am I going to make it worse? There's like a portrait show my mum watches, which is basically MasterChef but for painting. And that is something we bring up all the time. It's like, this person's a really great artist. They just need to learn to stop.
Maybe I can start like really high. That way, if I don't like it, I can just cut it off.
I was going to say, can you allow the hand so that if you do it wrong, just like...
Yeah, I might. If it turns out to be a total disaster, yes, I will.
Oh, I love doing the little ghosties because they're so simple but adorable. Just little shocked faces. I want something I can hang on my door now, and I'm like, what can I do?
I was thinking about making an autumn wreath, but then because my house is on like a main road, I never want to put a wreath on the door in case somebody steals it.
Yeah. See, I'm just like, I'm on the top floor, and only the neighbour opposite would see. So it would be there for my benefit, just like, this is cute.
Well, that's perfect then, because if you're the only one that's going to see it, you can put it on the inside of the door.
Yeah. Well, it's like with, because I'm thinking I need to buy Christmas decorations and stuff this year. And I usually have ones on, like, stuck to the window. And I'm like, is there any point when I'm this high up? Is anyone going to see?
Do you guys do decorating for Halloween?
I try to.
I always want to, but my family just don't really get into Halloween. Like, they just don't really care. So it's just me by myself.
I would like to, but we don't have a whole ton of stuff in the UK because Halloween's not like a super big deal, unfortunately. So I just like, it's all like real tacky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would if I could buy nicer things, because then I don't see the point in having just one thing. Like, if I'm going to decorate, I'm going to do it properly, and I can't find enough stuff to actually do it properly.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of, like, fake pumpkins dotted around, like candle ones, but that's about it.
I feel like it's really only a big deal over here is because that's how people make more money.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Well, it's
So
like,
just
just
like-
I here and hours here a lot
Yeah.
longer than it used to be. I've clocked into that one really big.
I wish we did Halloween. I love Halloween.
Mm.
Would you dress up?
Yeah. Because like I don't even know if it's real, but like when you watch Halloween movies and stuff in like set in the US, they always have like massive parties.
Yeah.
It's like nobody here cares. If you have a party for Halloween here, it's like probably a gathering of about 3 people, and then you feel really stupid because 3 people sat in fancy dress.
Yeah.
And also, if you said that was the reason for the party, everyone would be like, all right, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's more like a house party with just a few people who get really into it and everyone else who didn't realize it had a theme, you know?
Yeah.
And then if you try and go, because the only place that really does Halloween is if you go to clubs, but then you can't move because it's so busy because it's Halloween and everybody has fairy wings on, so you just get stuck with everybody when you're trying to move.
I think
I
I
think it's
went
quite
to
got
maybe
something
like
to, like-
2.
What was that, Tish?
What?
What did you say?
Oh, I think I've only went to like 2 massive Halloween parties, and that was when I was like in college and I was like 21. And the struggle was everybody always wanted to look super cute and hot or whatever, but I was like, I just want to be really ugly and scary, but nobody wants to do this with me. But so I guess I'll be kind of cute, I guess.
Oh, fine. If I have to be cute, I will.
Yeah, I've never done Halloween, but in the Netherlands they do Carnival in February, and that's when everybody does really dress up. I mean, it's not creepy all the time, but that's the dressing up opportunity.
I am going to a scare maze.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
I've only been to one before it was like a lot smaller than the one that I'm going to this time.
Uh-huh.
But it's one of the best rated in the country, I think. So I'm excited. But it's just like themed mazes and people jump out at you and chase you around.
Love that.
Sounds good.
There's a pretty big haunted house that we have kind of like in this Metroplex area, and it's inside of an abandoned meat factory.
Wow.
And it used to be really popular, but at one point it just shut down because a kid got murdered in there, actually. And so these people were seeing what they thought was like a fake scene when really it was an actual body.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, I think I'm just gonna take a break from haunted stuff this year. I'm gonna chill at home.
Yeah, I feel like the only times I've seen Halloween celebrated in the UK is at uni, when it's just like an excuse to party.
Yeah.
I did Halloween in New York once and saw the parade. That was phenomenal. And for about 6 hours before the parade kicked off, everyone was in costume. Like people with their kids were in like full like family like get-ups and stuff. That was really cool.
That's exciting. I would
But it
love to go
also
to that.
looked like a lot of work. Like it looked like a lot of people were like, yes, we've been preparing for this all year.
I need to find good costumes here. It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's just not things.
Do you want me? I'm just throwing my keyboard about.
Okay. That was not a total fail. Yay.
Woo! So what's everyone's plans for after this?
I actually don't know.
I don't either.
They always do that thing where I'm like, I have one plan in my day, which means I can't plan anything. Even if that plan's like half an hour, I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah, because I had my tattoo appointment and then came back straight into this. That was like the focus of my day, the tattoo, and then this. And now that this is nearly over, I'm like, I don't know what to do with the rest of my life.
Yep, I will be eating food, and all day I've just been thinking about fast food. So it will be a debate of whether I eat the food that I prepared yesterday or I get fast food.
I might actually watch on a Full House while we're in it.
Yeah, I might watch Midnight Mass.
Continue the gothic vibes.
Love that.
How about you, Hannah?
I'm gonna eat, and I'm gonna watch something that's not spooky because I am in the house by myself. So
Good idea.
I will get into my own head otherwise. But to be fair, when you were like, "Oh, we're gonna do this for another half an hour," I was like, "Oh, am I not doing this until I fall asleep? I thought this was it now. I thought this was it."
Here forever.
Yeah, I'm glad that you finished, Lynn. This is just a reminder for anybody who's hopped in a bit later that if you want to get points for your team, take a picture and post it to Twitter or Instagram if you don't have Twitter with your team hashtags, either hashtag Hellhound or Heavenly Halos, and you'll get points for your team. Perfect. Wow, Han, making your costume. That is another level.
I'm still not over the tour that Ali did, where they just opened the door and it's just wigs like all down the door. I loved that. I was like, yes.
I think I am extra enough to hand make my costume if there was an event that required it, but like nothing that happens for Halloween in the UK is worth the effort of hand making a costume.
Yeah.
Nobody will appreciate it.
The door doesn't even close anymore. There's too many things in there.
Oh.
I think I put that in the BookTube rewind that I did last year because it just amused me so much.
Sorry, if you can hear that. I'm going to have far too many of these little wooden things to know where to put them. Anything that is available to hang something on.
How many have you made so far?
I've got all the individual letters of A on 4 ghosts, 2 bats, 3 cookies. And now I'm doing, I've just painted black background because I've remembered that I've got like 3 door numbers on my door, so I'm just going to hang the word boo on the letters.
Sounds good.
And have my one neighbour be like, I mean, sure, why not?
Not bad.
I really enjoyed that.
It turned out way better than expected. Check it out. It's a pretty big. I mean, it's a big hand.
Oh, that looks so good.
Thank you.
That looks sick.
Cool.
I'm still laughing at the not bad.
It's always such a good feeling when the craft turns out the way you expect.
This was a very much like, trust the process. Trust the process.
I mean, those books that you made before, Tish, looked so good. I was even tempted to try making one, and I'm very sure that I would fail.
It was not like when I first watched the girls' tutorial, I was like, okay, this is going to be really complicated. But it actually wasn't. Laying down the Mod Podge and then putting, because what she did was she would lay down the Mod Podge and then she would just put paper towels on top to create that kind of texture. And that was fun. The hardest part was really just using my glue gun to make designs. That was hard. But everything else was really easy and it dried really fast. I left them in my garage for, I think, just overnight. And then the next day I was able to paint them.
Oh. Maybe I'll work up the guts.
Because I just bought like 2 random books from a thrift store that I knew I wasn't going to read and they were really old. And I bought 1 hardback and then 1 paperback and destroyed them.
Made them into something new.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep them on my shelf.
Yeah, definitely. Hunting down things.
They really are.
Yeah, they can be really horrible quality.
They'll sell things like capes with nothing. It doesn't even come with a costume. It's just a cape and it'll be like $50. And you're like, this magic? Is this going to give me powers for the night for $50?
See, my brother had, for his 18th birthday party, he had a toga party. But where everyone else like turned up like in sheets, my mom had like proper costumes made for us because she was trying out a new seamstress. She used to own a wedding dress shop, so she used to have different seamstresses all the time come and like ask for the work. So she was like, "Oh, I'll give this person a go, and we'll try out some of their stuff." So I had like a proper fitted Centurion outfit, which was great because it meant that I could wear a proper bra underneath it, as opposed to whatever string thing the Amazon ones think you're going to squeeze under there.
You got some compliments, Tish. Looks great.
Thank you, everyone. 3rd time's the charm, because this is my 3rd hand.
That's practice, that is.
You trying to get into my paints? Yeah?
Tish, did you say you're trying to get into my things or get into my pants?
Into my paints. My cat was trying to.
Oh, your paints. Okay. I was like, I don't know what's behind there, but I hope they're not trying to get in your pants.
Glad you asked, because I was wondering the same thing.
I looked up and then I saw that you'd also looked up. I was like, I'm going to need to ask now. Okay. All right, I think I'm done. If I add any more things to this, it's just going to start going the other way. So,
shall we show our end products if you want to show? Oh, wow.
I like it.
That looks really good.
Oh, it does look really good.
Thank you. Thank you for sounding so surprised, Tish.
Oh, no.
I'm listening. I'm pleasantly surprised as well.
I've attempted tonight has failed. I just started drawing a cat as well, but I can't get the ears to look right, and it's really frustrating. But this was the journal page that I had to finish that wasn't going very well.
Well, I like it.
Drew all of those roses for no reason, because that is all they were for, decoration, and then I just couldn't. It's just not quite, because this is. Let me show you a good one. Like, that's a good one, and it's just not quite the same quality.
Gotcha. I like the flower. Or is those? Wow, are those roses in the bottom?
Those ones, yes.
Yeah, those are good.
I love roses.
Well, I did spend the first 45 minutes just drawing those, so at least they turned out all right.
I guess I can show you the end product of my picture, which I've decided I don't dislike that strongly anymore.
I like it.
That's really cool.
Cool.
So that's him.
I have about
By the way, I love Tokyo Ghoul too, also.
Yay. I just got the box set of the manga, so now I get to like start the journey all over again with the manga.
I want to get the box set of those too.
I have things vaguely just to this effect. I'll not show you all of them. But,
Oh, cute.
Oh, those are cute.
I love those.
and then just lots of letters everywhere.
I would pay for a coaster set like that. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I've got similar things for coasters that are just like leaf printy stuff.
Oh, those are pretty.
I would make some, but you have to like get the varnish and everything.
Yeah.
I would make some, but that sounds like effort, is what I know.
It's because I do the thing where I'm like, every year there's something I'm going to make an Etsy store for, and I'm like, stop it.
It's really funny because when I take the books down, there's like an art market that meets every Sunday near me, and like some of the art, I'm like, oh my god, that's beautiful, and some of the art, I'm like, I'm gonna go home and see if I can do that because I'm not paying £40 for that. I think I can do that, and then I go home and I'm like, oh, I should have bought that. I can't do this.
Yeah, I really like doing like crafty things, but I keep taking the magic out of it for myself because I'll like something so much that I want to do it myself, and then I'll never buy that thing again because I could do it myself, and then I lose the enjoyment of appreciating the thing to start off with.
That makes sense. Lots of compliments. Looks good, Becca.
Thank you.
Loving those. Hi.
Hey, Ariel.
I think we're going to draw to an end, but we'd love to see all of your arts and craftsy things, whether they've gone well or not. It's all part of the process. So share with our hashtags, and there'll be links down below to all of these wonderful people's channels. So if you'd want to go and check them out, you can do that. But thank you for being crafty with us.
Thank you.
Is there anything that anybody wants to say before we sign off? Like anything you want to shout out?
I don't think so.
Nope. Okay.
No.
Well, have a good evening or day, depending on your time zone.
Bye.
Bye.